So, hello everyone, it's time for reviewing it. You just watched, right? Part 1 then of the final season, part 1. Yes, it has the worst name ever. As I said right in my other reaction videos, I just call it like, episode 88, 89, and 90, right? So I think we're kind of like reviewing those 3 episodes, or then just, the final part 1, final season 4, final quadruple ending, I'm a bird, whatever, who cares? Anyway, let's talk about it, right? So, first episode then, right, starts out with the immediate scene where we have the kid and Eren crying and so on, right? And I like that scene in the sense that we kind of see Eren being like, why should I help him, right? Eren is like, why should I help you? Because you're gonna die anyway, you're gonna burn anyway, right? Yeah. He's like, why should I care about anyone? Like, I'm just gonna step on you anyway. I do say one thing here though, I find a little bit issue with that, because it's also played out a little bit that Eren doesn't care about, Hange, and he doesn't care about Sasha, and so on, all the other dead wifers. No, but seriously, he seems to kind of not care about anything. He's like, I'm just gonna rumble anyone anyway. But at the same time though, he is rumbling to protect his friends. So I do feel a little bit disconnected, honestly, for storyline, that he's not wanting to save the kid, right? This kid here, this makes more sense to me. This, again, I think, okay, I get it, He's just like, whatever, you're gonna die anyway, right? And he's crying, and then the kid, I like the seasoning a lot. When the kid finally, we kind of saw how the kid understood why Eren was crying, or at least kind of, whatever, but, he kind of got it, whatever, right? That was a really good scene. Yeah, he's staring into Eren's crying face, and then it kind of made him stare into the rumbling. So that was really good. But I do feel a little bit, like I said, that it's kind of weird how Eren is played off as, he kind of walks there, it's like, everyone's gonna die, rumble, 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 rumble. And then it's also not seemingly care about his friends, what he's doing instead of Eldians. It's a little bit contra, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, this seems good with the kid. And how Eren doesn't really want to save him, because it's like, whatever, it doesn't really matter, right? Indifferent to him. And then it leads to Armin and Annie's confession, right? Which, I don't know. It was cute. Like I said, I think it's kind of cute. It is probably the most romantic storyline as I contacted. Even though Armin is mostly in love with her because of Bernhold. But it was adorable still, though, to see Annie being all like, oh, Armin, I like you too. And it was kind of, that's why she was making fun of me. So it is kind of funny. And then later when Mikasa talks to her, she stares at Armin, and Mikasa's like, oh, you too, did you have sex? Mikasa is like, oh, did you smash? Did you do dirty? Yeah, it's hilarious, and they're both blushing and so on. And I guess I have to imagine that they did it. But seriously, I do think that's an issue, and it actually reminds me back of 86, right? That's 86. That it does to me feel a little strange how, if you're going into impending doom, right? I mean, this is a typical trope, but you know what I mean? If you're going into impending doom, and you're like, you just confess to the girl you love her, and she's like, I also love you, and you can like, oh, well, you love me too? You probably would have sex. I was gonna be that guy, but you probably would smash, right? And I don't think we need to have an actual hand scene with them doing it. But I do think it is an issue in the manga, right? In the manga, and I was genuinely hoping that the anime, because the manga doesn't have this stuff, right? I was hoping that the anime was gonna fix this. I genuinely, really hoping, maybe in the last episode, but I was really hoping that the anime was gonna have them actually kiss or whatever, and then see them enter a bedroom or something. I mean, seriously, I really mean that, because, again, right, they are basically going up to impending doom. They're gonna die, like, very likely gonna die here, right? They're on this, like, ship, like a slow, have you been on a ship? I'm from Port City, okay? These ships move with snail pace, right? They're on a goddamn ship, they have their own bedroom, and it's moving super slow. And you just told the girl that you're in love with, you love it for like 4 years, whatever, you've been loving for a few years, right? Told her that you love her, and she's like, I love you back, kind of thing, and they probably will go and do it. I mean, seriously, they probably would do it, right? Because, if you're gonna die in 10 minutes now, might as well do it, right? I mean, I know it's a trope, but I think it's a trope that makes sense, right? That's why that is a pretty common trope in movies and anime and so on, right? That you see a character doing the dirty deeds, right? Because they're like, oh, if the Armageddon is happening in anyway, so let's just do it, right? So I do find it weak that the anime Ishiyama has a lot of, he's really bad at writing romantic stuff. I mean, I think it's fair to say. And I think the scene here kind of shows it. It's a cute scene, and then she's like, oh, you shouldn't love me, Armin, because, I'm a monster too, and he basically makes her accept that they're gonna be a couple or whatever. And I mean, yeah, they're probably gonna end up together. We have to assume that they get married or something after the whole storyline, whatever, right? we have to assume we're gonna read the Yoshinis, but you know, I really think they should have had a scene with them like either at least kissing or something, or implied. Again, they don't have to actually do it. You know what I mean? It just means like an implied scene where they go into like one of the, you know, rooms or whatever, right, on the ship, right? Stuck in the ship for like a few hours, you know what I mean? It's basically like, we're gonna die in 5 hours now, and 4 of these hours we're gonna be stuck on a ship together, so we might as well do it for us 4 hours. I'm just throwing it out here, but seriously, it doesn't make much sense that they don't want to do it. She'd be stuck in that freaking diamond thing for like years, right? You know how thirsty she has to be, Annie? Annie basically accepts it because no one has ever loved her. No, but like, I mean, come on. This woman hasn't done it for years. She's, you know, she's been stuck in a freaking crystal. Like, been in prison for half her life, basically. You think she's gonna be like, oh yeah, let's just wait for a few more months and do it? No. She's probably like, let's get it on, boy. Yeah, she's probably like, get in the bedroom and I want to get some babies, though. She's probably going to be done shows, you know, yeah. So, I don't know. But I think that this should be fixed. I think that anime should have had them actually, let's kiss, right? Again, I don't need to actually see it, you know what I mean? I wouldn't know, but I mean, just a kiss, right? Anyway, then of course, King Flosh comes back, right? And he's still alive somehow. It is kind of silly how he's been able to survive this long. But he comes back and destroys the fuel tank, right? And that's gonna ruin for. They're gonna fix that and so on. Yeah, so it's basically his fault that Hange dies, right? More or less. Yeah, so then of course the ultimate wife of Hange, probably the best female character and things like that. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. I really think she is probably the best female character in the anime. I would say so. I think Sasha is a pretty good character too, and obviously I'm like, why is Jordan the best waifus? And Peak is good. I like Peak, it's probably my favorite character, but the thing is that, you know, and I will say that again, right? Every time we bring up Sasha, people are like, oh, you say Gabi, so no, but I think Sasha is kind of like, there's been a lot of memes with that, right? But Sasha's like, everyone likes her! It's basically that kind of character. No, everyone loves you! You know what I mean? If Connie dies, people are like, I don't care about Connie, you know? Yin, like, I like Yin, right? Some people hate Yin, you know what I mean? So if Yin dies, you're like, oh, I kind of like Yin. Reiner is kind of like, you know, people like, hate, you know. But everyone kind of like Sasha. Everyone's like, Sasha, the potato girl, the comic relief, the just like the cute, best girl, who's kind of funny and, you know, wholesome, you know? Like, that was Sasha, right? Sasha was that, you know, yeah, she was just kind of the wholesome, funny girl. And Hange is Team Mom, right? Hange is the MILF, yeah. She's the older lady, right? She's the oldest woman. Again, excluding the Japanese ambassador lady. But, you know, she's basically the oldest, you know, warrior lady. She's badass. She's also smart, right? She's the smartest character in the show. I know Armin is said to be the smartest, but I think that all the actually basically makes Hange smarter. Yeah, because Hange is also smart when it comes to, you know, plans and cunning and so on. She's smarter than that. She's street smart right that way, right? But she's also a scientist, yeah. So Hange, I think, is probably by far the smartest character in the anime. Because again, she's both, like, you know, smart with strategies, but also smart when it comes to science. Where Armin is just smart with strategies, and barely even that sometimes. And Peak is also good with strategies. And I guess Irvin was also pretty good with strategies. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's kind of it. And I guess Yin has also some intelligence sometimes. And every other character is a complete moron. I'm sorry, but everyone is a moron. I was just gonna laugh at my own dumb jokes, but come on. Every other character except Hange is basically really, really stupid. I really think so, yeah. Like I said, Peak is also a smart female character, and basically no other female character has any intelligence in this anime. Like, straight out. No. Like Mikasa, you know, she is one-dimensional Eren lover, definitely not. Even, like I said, I like Sasha, right? Sasha, lovable character. But again, Sasha is a lovable goofball. She's like, potato, you know. Sasha is like a lovable goofball, right? She's not very smart, but she's lovable. She's a lovable, cute girl, right? Yeah. Lovable, funny, you know, funny, headstrong, you know, potato girl, yeah. She's just funny, right? But she's not intelligent. So I think Hange really is one of my favorite character Titan, and the more better written one. And yeah, that feels so unnecessary, and it really pisses me off a bit, because yeah, she was like one of the last few like intellectual characters that you would survive. But like I said in my reaction part, I really don't think that Hange should have died there. I think it's bad, because, you know, Hange's death makes no sense, in a lot of ways, I think, because I said it many times, right, but really, like Connie, I said my part, what is Connie's point, right? Connie betrayed them with his mom, right? He was trying to, like, end Falco with his mom, which was really stupid. He was basically like, I'm gonna save my mom, and then the whole planet goes to hell, right? He's like doomsday the whole planet for his mother's life, but I mean that has no purpose because then your mom is dead anyway, right? You know what I mean? If I had to pick either save all of humanity or my mom's life, I would have picked humanity. I'm sorry, Mom, but I would have picked the whole planet, okay? And also, of course, if I pick my mom to save her life, and then the whole planet is destroyed, we both gonna die anyway. So what's the point? What's the point of saving anyone? Like, what's the point of saving your brother, mom, dad, son, sister, daughter, whatever, cousin? What is the point of saving your family member if the whole planet is destroyed? They won't survive anyway. When you have saved them, they're gonna die anyway. It has no purpose, right? So Connie's actions are extremely stupid, and he's sitting there being all like, "Oh, those guys were my friends," so on. So that Connie doesn't agree up and do it is really dumb. Connie should have died instead. Connie would have made much more sense. He was already feeling all this guilt over his friends, right? They shouldn't trust Connie because of the betrayal with his mom and so on. So they should have no trust for Connie. He has no purpose. I really mean, and I said this earlier too in other episodes. I don't think that Connie has any purpose anymore whatsoever. He's just kind of there, right? At least, Reiner is back and forth. His powers, right? And his powers, right? Falco's powers, they have powers, right? So they're shifted with powers. Armies, they're powers. Hange, of course, was the intelligence. He was the brains, right? She was the smartest woman they had, right? And Peak also is pretty smart, and of course has powers too. So why would you ever let the commander, right, the leader of the army, which also is the scientist leader they have? Remember that I said earlier, right? Hange is the only character in this anime that has any like scientific skill, yeah. While Peak, for example, again, is very intellectual. Yeah, Peak is the only character ever, basically, to see the traps and say, "Oh, this is a trap, help me," and do so. Yeah, Peak is actually, best good Peak, right? Always, yeah. Peak is probably Peak. I keep saying Peak is my favorite female character because Peak is like only female character written as actually having like common sense. To a large extent, Peak is like, you can't trick me with just lies or whatever. Yeah, Peak is the only woman that's like, you can't lie to me. You're obviously lying to me, and so on. That's basically her. Right? Yeah, and if he can, sorry with my voice, that's my reaction. But honestly, if he's kind of silly in a way, I think that Peak is a good character in that sense because I mean, Peak again. I like Peak a lot, right? I think it's my best female. It's the best female character, but it is kind of funny that Peak is the best female character, in my opinion, because she has common sense. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, that should be the least skill you should need, right? But I think it's very true for a lot of horror shows, and Thriller and Titan isn't the horror mainly, but it clearly is horror elements, right? Zombie types, basically. It is very common, unfortunately, that of course, most of the characters are really stupid, right? And we all know that. If you watch any horror movies, most characters are really, really dumb. That's why they die, right? And Peak is basically the only female character to be like, why would I go into that trap for? Obviously, I should do this better. Yeah, Peak is the only one being like, you're clearly lying to me. You know what I mean? She's the only one being like, no, don't fall for this trap. That's kind of like why she's lovable, because she's like, I'm an idiot. But Hange was definitely in that sphere too. Yeah, Hange had intelligence too. And like I said, scientific skills, right? Yeah. Connie has no purpose whatsoever, right? He's just kind of like the traitor, useless meathead guy. They can easily send him, because the only thing she did was fighting Titan with power anyway. Connie can say, yeah, it is stupid. I think the Hange's death is unnecessary, and Connie should die instead. Yeah, I absolutely so. And then if Connie should have died, it should have been Jean, right? Again, Jean also a meathead guy, right? Smarter than Connie, but not like super intellectual, right? Not super smart, not super strong. He also would be a better choice than, again, the smart scientific leader. I can't trust enough that Hange is the only person, basically, the whole anime that has, basic like chemistry and physics and so on skills, right? Yeah. She's basically the only woman that ever read a math book or something. But seriously, it's like she's built everything. I don't know, but it's kind of like, isn't Hange the only one that ever has any ideas what is going on? Like, why would you let her die over your meathead, stupid, soldier guys, right? And she's also is the commander, she's the actual leader, right? There is no way she should have died. Absolutely no way. And then the very next scene, Connie's like, "Why didn't I don't want to live, Reiner. I see what you mean, Reiner. I hate being alive." You're like, oh, why didn't you then save them, right? I think it's stupid. She should have sent the boys. Yeah, she should have had Jean and Connie. Like I said in the reaction part, I think the best scene, probably, honestly, the best this could be done, honestly, is if Hange went over there, right, decided to fight them, right? She's like, I want to fight them, you know, for you, right? And then Connie's like, I will help you! When she's like struggling, he's coming over there also fighting, either saving her like he does that, or they both die. That actually probably the best scene. Because just having one of them stand up to all the Colossus at the same time is kind of stupid. She's doing way too good actually in that sense, right? She's actually winning almost, right? Yeah. So no, I think that like Yin or Connie, probably Connie then giving his guilt, should have run over there and be like, I will help you, Commander, and he will also die, and they will both die, but that would be a much better scene if he also was like, I wanna stand here and protect my friends, you know. But yeah, I think that scene is really stupid. It's really stupid, and I mean that not because I'm just tired of Ishiyama asking all the best female characters, but it doesn't make any sense, right? From a military standpoint, from a strategy standpoint, again, why would you sacrifice your commander, your smartest female character, and she's also the leader, right? Yeah, she's smartest and she's the boss. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But anyway, rant over. Then we get into, you know, memory, space, time, ninjutsu, which is like, I don't know, the point is that Eren gives some freedom, right? But I think this actually never really is defined. I think that you can say that Eren gives some freedom, but we also have seen that Eren can't control shifters. There's never been a time where the coordination power works on shifters, so it's also him being lying. I don't know. I wish it was actually explained here in a detail, because it's played out again as him giving them the option or something, but he can't stop them either. He can't stop them. I don't think so, because it's never been ever seen ever where this Titan power can control the other powers. That has never been part of his power or any of the other powers. He's never been able to affect them like that. So I don't think that he actually can stop them. So it's a little bit like, is he lying? Is he protecting freedom? What is freedom? I don't know. I wish this was better explained, probably more so, or not explained, but maybe more, the rules should probably have been more like specific before the scene, saying that he could stop us. They talk about, oh, could he stop us? But he can't actually do it. But we've seen with other coordinators and so on, and the backstory of the Emu, they probably can stop them. Those seem to be part of the power spectrum. So it's a little bit like, maybe he can, maybe he can't, right? Arguably he can time travel, so he could stop them before they're born or whatever, but they would revive time too much. So it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit like, let's assume he could stop them if he wants. Let's assume he could time travel and kill them or something, and he's like, I'll give you freedom to stop me. But then also, why wouldn't he? I don't know, I think it's a plot hole. I don't know, it's a plot hole. Couldn't he use... The whole thing is that Eren has ultimate, time travel, so he shouldn't be able to lose. And then why is, you know how it's gonna end. The end is terrible. So it's like, why couldn't he? He's obviously a terrible time traveler, whatever. I don't care. Finally, they get to the airplane, right? We also see Falco, of course, dreaming about flying. So they're gonna get this very soon, right? Yeah, Falco in the Gabinator is coming soon, of course, to kill them all. But yeah, the last scene was pretty good. We see Eren shooting lightning bolts, but actually turned into become Zeke. That looked weird to me, because first it was like Eren was throwing lightning. He was like, I'm gonna Zeus them. But then it turned out to him, he actually was like, he's summoning his brother, Zombie Zeke, to of course throw rocks at Zeppeliners. As Eren reacts report, right, Zeppeliners is a terrible weapon. And it isn't a plot hole that Eren can summon Zeke to baseball the Marleys. That makes perfect sense. The plot hole, or rather, almost like a lore hole, whatever you call it. The issue I have with the scene just beginning is that why would the Marley have this weird military base off a plateau, which is so hard to build, and the cylinder all that is so stupid, and then they have the thing up there, and then they have been Zeppeliners instead of planes. It's just like so stupid. Everything with the Marley Empire in the end here is really stupid, right? From an engineer standpoint, from a military standpoint, it's so stupid. Of course, the reason, not just for the cost to build the tracks and to build a plateau like that, it's never happened in reality. It's just so stupid. But if you ignore all of that, just the build of itself, right? The thing is that Zeppelin doesn't work in war. They have no purpose in war, right? Because they're so slow that even if you fight the Titans, the thing is that the Marleys have talked several times about that they're actually fighting the other countries. So it's like, yeah, but the other countries would easily shoot the Zeppelins down, right? So the Zeppeliners that the Marley have them has always been a plot, I think. Basically, it's never made any sense, right? Never made any sense. Never. And now they're like, oh, we have an army, we have an armada, we have a fleet armada of Zeppeliners at this plateau. That's also, the whole plateau thing is just, the whole construction of the plateau and where it's located in this world and everything, nothing makes any sense. This airbase is just, it is so stupid. I can't iterate more, emphasize, or whatever you call it. I said it so many times over years how this whole airbase is like some Disney movie, It's like if you ever see, for example, Tailspin, right? Where they have like the Cascade and they have some artillery, something like that. It feels like a Disney movie. Or we built this like Zeppelin airbase on top of this plateau, and we needed to build. I mean, you know how hard it is to build a train track, to go in like a spiral. How do you even turn a train? You have to use one of those shifter things on the train. It's a plot hole because we don't even have that. It doesn't make any sense, okay? I'm sorry, but as a nerd, as a mathematical nerd guy, nothing of the Morley base makes sense, because when you get the train up there too, the train won't be able to turn. So you will have one that has shiftings, right? And the trains are too long for that, and the platoons are tiny. So if you get in the train, you will have to have one of those like shifters, which is or else to be like a double, or it have to be like a circle on top of the circle, so you can twist around, so you can like spin it around on top. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even have either of those two things. They need one of those things. And then you have the radar tower. They have the tower. The tower thing wasn't invented until after this technology, so it doesn't make any sense either. It is so many plot holes from like a lore standpoint. Nothing makes any sense here in military base at all. It never had, right? It was like a big deal. But I just want to point it out. I hate it. No, as an engineer, I'm just like, oh my god, nothing makes any sense here. The military engineering of the Morlays makes no sense. Why would they have some Zeppelins for? Why didn't they have this for? Why are they napalming them? Why did they use it earlier? Why would they have it's so stupid too. Why would they have napalms for? They didn't use it earlier. Like they don't. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like Zeppelin is really easily get killed. We see it earlier when they have like destroyer ships and whatever. They will shut it down. Why do they have this thing for? Why are the Zeppelins more effective for? Why don't they have the destroyers there for? Why is there less airplanes for? Why don't they have airplanes for? Why don't they have bomb planes for? Why don't they have the typical 3 bomb plane for? It's much better. There's just so much issues with everything the Morley do, and also all of them for that matter. As the last part here, the war thing though, the rumblings obviously like here comes a million Titans are big, but they really do die easily. Yeah, like one of them dies for just stepping on the other one with Hange and so on. It does feel that the Morlays, and I think this is a general issue I have with this whole last arc, is that I don't think the Morlays should win because it's like a million big Titans, but it does feel like I actually would have preferred if the Morley had way more chance to win. If they actually, you know, were like, I think that would be much better actually if we saw the Morley actually destroying a lot of Titans, right? Again, it's still losing, like they're still losing, but you know, like, but actually like, less of a struggle, because they're more supposed to be basically World War II Germany, right? With a huge army, million soldiers, all this advanced technology, artillery, and the Titans are basically just big flesh. It's just big humans, right? And the thing is that that's why a lot of the storyline is that the Titans are basically being weaker and weaker, right? And the Mali Empire has lost land because they can't use their Titan army anymore, right? Because the Titan and Eldian army is weak compared to the other countries' military technology, right? So you also so other countries, for that matter, should also have a better chance to beat them, because again, they're just like big ass humans. They're not that strong actually, and they're very stupid. Just walk straight at you, right? So they actually should lose. I mean, yes, of course, the basic premise is that we have the Titans in the walls, right? Episode 1. But those humans, or the fake humans, the Eldians, they have worse technology, right? These guys have like World War II, and even some technology they have is after World War II, like the Korean War. So they're actually having like 50, even 60 technology sometimes, right? So they're very, very modernized technology. They should actually be able to have a... But again, I don't think they should win. I'm just saying that I think there'd be more scenes where they're having... And their fleet should be way bigger, actually. Yeah, their fleet should be like 10 times bigger, probably. Their fleet should probably way bigger. Again, they're supposed to be, you know, World War II Germany. Their air fleet was much, much bigger, right? They have many ships. You know, and think about USA too. Think about how big the Navy was. Yeah, the Navy armies they had during World War II, all the countries combined, they were massive, right? They were ridiculous. Yeah, they had thousands of ships. You know, most countries had many ships. Them all combining together, it should be like thousands of Navy ships be able to fight these, you know, Colossus, right? Like a lot of them, yeah. Again, maybe they should lose because there's so many Titans, but I think we should be. I think that would be better if there's one episode that was like the rumbling. Episode 8 and 9 could be the rumbling, right, against these like, ridiculous armies of the other countries, the Japanese, the Indians, so they have other countries too, right? They should all be like bam, 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 and it should be more like. I think it should be more war. Yeah, I think it should be like a bigger war setting of humans struggling, then they get crushed, and I think it could be. I think it'd be more like a Kaiju kind of Godzilla against. I think that'd be better. I kind of miss it honestly. I think one episode should have been that, something like that. Yeah, because it really should be hard for them to actually defeat them. It shouldn't be that easy. No, it shouldn't be that easy. I mean, if Hange can defeat like 10 of them by yourself, you know, imagine what like a modern military can do. But they don't have modern military, but they have kind of like the 60s of there, yeah, 60s. They kind of like they're like after World War II and also a little bit pre-World War II, right? But I mean, again, the whole premise is that the Mali have lost land, right? because the attacks are too weak to fight them. Yeah, they can't fight all the cuts anymore. They can, but I mean they're losing land because the technology has been too advanced, right? So the Colossus guys shouldn't be that effective. Whatever, I digress. I'm just pointing out, nothing of this base makes any sense, okay? At all. At all. Anyway guys, subscribe. See you guys tomorrow from Academia. Oh yeah, Buddy Daddies was delayed today. I don't know why, but today Buddy Daddies was like what is called a recap episode. Yeah, they just recap the first episode. I don't know why. Whatever. One Piece will be delayed for like 3 weeks or a month or something. I don't think that's tomorrow, but it's gonna be either tomorrow or next week, I think, where One Piece would be like a 3-week break or something. But I see you guys and have a great day.